Good morning, I'm Savannah Hogdahl, Gloucester County's Public Communications Media Specialist. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so excited to tell you about all the things our county employees have been doing through November and December. The holiday season is especially joyful in Gloucester since we have a beautiful county and the best residents. Today we'll talk about some of the things our local schools have been up to, an engineering project that's just about wrapped up, and we'll have a musical special from the public library. We've got a lot to catch you up on, so let's rewind the clock a bit. Shortly before Thanksgiving, every fourth grader in the county got on a bus and met up at T.C. Walker to learn about what life would have been like for the Powhatan Indians in Gloucester back in Pocahontas' era. We caught up with Katie Litton to talk about the field trip.
How many hunters of the Powhatans do you think it takes to knock down this bear? Hold up with your fingers how many it takes. Yeah, all of your fingers. Good. 10. All right.
So we had John Pagano from the Henricus Foundation join us today to present to our fourth graders a historical interpretation of the life that Pocahontas and the Powhatan tribe would have encountered here in Gloucester County and the surrounding area. So we started doing this several years ago prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, and we were very lucky to bring it back last year. They're always really entertaining when they come in the door, actually, because a lot of them remembered being here last year as a third grade group when they saw a presentation that the Virginia Repertoire Theater put on here. But then they also appreciate the connections that they're making to Virginia studies. So when I'm in their classrooms in the following weeks and months, they make those connections when I pop in their classroom, like, hey, I remember you, I was in the T.C. Walker and we saw this play, or we saw this production and he was talking about this and I remember that. So it's really cool to have those conversations with the students, and the teachers email me and say, we started talking about this as a review for their upcoming SOL test, and they remembered this because of the presentation that they had. So it's a really neat experience to help them connect with the content that they're learning in the classroom and the history that's right here in Gloucester County. We also have a History of Gloucester course. We have an African American Studies course at the high school level as well, and it does focus a lot on the different impacts that have happened here in Gloucester County. So we're trying to bring all of the historical aspects that Gloucester holds home to our students.
She's right about how much they loved it. It takes a lot to get hundreds of 9 and 10-year-olds to pay attention. Great job, John. This next one will just melt your heart. I got to tag along with Petsworth Elementary School students as they delivered and organized donations from their annual turkey trot. The kids were so excited to make a difference in their community.
This is the Salem Community Church Food Pantry. We service Middlesex, King, Queen, Matthews, and of course Gloucester. Our shelves are a little bit bare right now, and we're hoping that with the kids from Petsworth, they usually help fill them up quite a bit. We had 76 families that affected 260 people this past Saturday, which was our distribution day. Because of Thanksgiving, we had a special bag that we put together with things like mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, a cake mix. But yeah, I've been doing this for, I don't know, 8-10 years. Yeah. Every year they come in, they're just full of energy, and they bring their stuff in, and they just keep everything going very well.
So our school is divided into 5 houses, similar to Harry Potter. Each house is a different river in Gloucester. These are 10 of our house leaders. We picked 2 from each house to come and help us deliver the food. When we had an SCA, we brought the SCA with us and they organized the food. So once we started using the house system, it just worked to have house leaders. They look forward to the racing, the awards, and delivering the food. And they learn a little something about how the food pantry works. They don't just deliver, but they're able to talk to them and tell them about how many people they are able to help serve. We talk about how anyone could be having a hard time for lots of different reasons, and we could be helping our neighbors. We could be helping the student that's sitting in the desk beside them. So they are able to have fun, get some exercise, have some competition, and then the most important thing is to help others.
I've got to give a shout out to Molly Trainham, the school coordinator who helped organize things with the food pantry. Great job to Molly and all the teachers who helped with that. Over at Bethel Elementary School, our senior coordinator, Deborah Falkenberg, was helping organize a donation from our local chapter of All Pro Dad. They do this at all our local schools, but here's a peek of their Thanksgiving donation to Bethel Elementary.
We're with the All Pro Dads. I have 2 kids and I have 3 granddaughters that I'm very, very proud of. We try to get dads together, and what we're doing with the schools is to have dad to come in and have breakfast with their child, because that's a part that most fathers miss because they're going to work or something like that. So we do it early in the morning before schools, and moms are welcome to come also. And we basically sit down and have breakfast, and then we have one subject that we discuss that's important to fathers and their children, and we have the program in all 8 schools here in the county. Basically what we brought here today, we'll got with the schools, and we'll serve in 3 families. We have turkey, approximately 25 pounds of canned goods. They have yams in there, they have green beans in there, they have peas in there, they have spaghetti in there, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, and a lot of other stuff. We partner with the schools for the All Pro Dad. The principal, the guidance counselor, and the community ed, they know the needs of their students and their families. So we come and we ask them, who do they have, if they got 3 or 4 families, how many they want to do. And then if we can support that, we do. And education is very important. We were here at Bethel this morning, and my wife is a retired teacher, and she retired from Bethel Elementary School. You know, everybody goes through different things, and if you don't have food in your home or you can't feed your family properly, we saw that everybody suffers. So we just wanted to be a blessing to some families so they can have a good Thanksgiving. It's better to give, okay, than it is to receive.
Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate community members who go out of their way to love on our families. And last but certainly not least on the school front, check out the Body Talk Book Bash put on by coordinator Ashley Walker earlier this month. She turned a visit from the book fair into something even more special for their kids and families.
Reading is the most fundamental thing that a child needs in their lives. Reading helps them with their imagination. It helps them in every aspect of their lives, and having parents and families read to their children is very important. So that was another reason why we wanted to bring our families in for our Holiday Book Fest, is to engage the families in reading with their children, making stories together. That's one of our crafts, making bookmarks together, and just enhancing that love of reading.
She caught snowflakes with her tongue, flapped her arms to make snow angels. Have you all ever made snow angels? They're so much fun.
Easy, I stayed up all night practicing and I play.
Here at Body Talk, we're having our Holiday Book Fest. It is a family engagement night where we have the first night of our book fair. Our students are able to come to the book fair all next week, but we wanted to open it up to our families to shop first. But at the same time, we wanted to open up to all of our families, not just those who would like to shop at the book fair. So we have free crafts, we have guest readers, we have concessions from our PTA. We have our Rift station set up where you can donate books to our children here at the school. We also have a therapy dog here who's just, the cutest. Marley is just amazing. And our students can read either their new books from the book fair to him, or they can just get snuggles, and sometimes that's all that you need. I want to thank our school and all of our community members who are coming in. We have our Deputy County Administrator, Dr. Stam. She's here reading as guest readers. We have our Teacher of the Year, our principal. Everybody came together to make this event happen. This is one big fun, phonetic night, I guess, for our families.
Oh, to be a student of the Scholastic Book Fair again. Great job, Body Talk team. Our Economic Development Department put on their own fair last month too. We had our first ever reverse vendor fair, where county and school employees set up at the public library and let local businesses come to us to see if there was any way that we could partner in business. It's not something I would have thought about before I worked here, but from t-shirts to caterers to face painting, the county purchases a wide variety of goods and services to keep things running smoothly and to provide events for the community. We had a good turnout, and the business leaders who came by now have a better understanding of our bidding and vendor process. If you didn't get a chance to come, but you have a business that you think would partner well with the county, you can always reach out to our central purchasing or economic development departments, and they'll help get you set up with instructions and tips. Next, let me tell you about a county employee who works with all of our departments, Benji Shackelford, our workplace safety and training manager. He used to be an Army medic, and now his job is making sure that we're thinking about safety as we go about our daily jobs. That can mean a lot of different tasks day to day, but last week it meant that he was training more county employees to be certified in CPR. I couldn't get as much footage as I wanted because I was in the class and paying attention. But I just wanted to let you know that this is one of the things that Benji does to make our county employees and the residents we serve a little bit safer. Speaking of safety, the work our county engineer Kim Beatley has been doing down at Aberdeen Wharf is making the pier safe for watermen to use again. Let's take a field trip down to Aberdeen Creek just off the York River.
We are on a tributary off the York River that is used mostly by watermen. There's homeowners here, but the watermen mainly use this facility. This is called Aberdeen Pier. It was built 50 years ago and rebuilt 20, 25 years ago. And now we're rebuilding it totally for the third time. It takes huge wear and tear because of the service that it provides. You'll see many, many bushels of oysters and crabs during the seasons come across this pier. I started last November. We had our design done in about 2 months. Then we realized it was going to cost a lot more than we had planned for. So the funding cycle with Virginia Port Authority came up, and they're paying 75% of this. We were lucky. Virginia Port Authority granted it. We got our money in July, and we went to work in late September. We pretty much went with the original design, made it a little bit heavier, and you can see the results. Anybody can come use it. It's public. The pier itself is probably 98%. There's some concrete bollards there. These black ones you see, they still got to be filled with concrete. And this area that I'm standing on has to be paved. And once that's done, the area along the shore will have to be rip-wrapped with VDOT Class 1 stone. No, I just think it's a good project. I want to thank the Virginia Port Authority for the grants. Money well spent, I think. And our neighbors behind me, Aberdeen Aquatics, for working with us and allowing the watermen to use their property to moor and load and unload their boats while this was being constructed. So a big shout out to those guys.
It's truly beautiful down there. Kim and the contractors have done a wonderful job. Our librarians have been hard at work too, with their holiday story times, ornament crafts, and their annual open house, where they bring in singers and dancers and have a cookie contest. They also just put out this video, filmed by the ever-talented John Ayers, and fans of The Office are especially going to like it.
No, 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 no.
Our head librarian plays a mean air guitar. The December podcast takes a more serious tone, but it's important information to know. If not for yourself, then for someone you might know and love. Our victim witness advocate team, under the Commonwealth's attorney, takes care of people who have been affected by crime. This can be a difficult time of year, and we want to make sure we're sharing the resources available should you ever need a helping hand. Hi, welcome to the Current Conversations podcast. I'm Savannah Hugdahl, Gloucester County's Public Communications Media Specialist, and today we've got Chelsea Pierce with us. She is the Victim Witness Director for Gloucester County. So welcome.
Thanks for having me. Excited.
How long have you held this role with the county, Chelsea?
Well, I've been in victim witness here for 4 years, but I think I've only been the director for 2.
Okay.
I think.
So you got some experience before you moved up.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful. While this is definitely an important job, by nature of it, it's one that people don't see too much. It's just not, it doesn't have high visibility. So can you explain for people who might not have heard about victim witness advocate jobs, what you do and for whom?
So we work with all victims of crime. It doesn't matter whether it's like a hit and run or it's a murder. We work with every single person that's impacted by crime. And we assist them by going to court with them, setting up meetings with the prosecutor, making sure they know what their rights are. We refer them to any services they may need that help them in their healing or help them leave an abusive relationship if that's what's going on with them. So anything we can really do just to be a support, that's what we're there for.
Is this more for their court experience, or is this for, you were a victim of a robbery and now you need financial assistance? Like, what kind of help are we talking about?
So we can kind of do both. We have community partners that obviously we work with, like Virginia Victims Fund or Avalon, for example, that we can connect people with. But we really are for the court process. Like, we're going to walk you through the system. We're going to explain how everything works, go to court with you, but also make sure that you have the other component.
Awesome. When you're talking about victim and witness rights, are there any rights that people have in Virginia that they tend not to know about until they come to your office and talk to you?
Most of the time, people don't know they have any rights. They know about offenders' rights, like the defendant in the case, but they don't know that victims have rights. So we really explain all of them to them because most time people have no idea.
So can you list some of them off?
Yeah, so they have the right to be heard. So that can look like doing a victim impact statement during sentencing hearings. So telling the judge how this crime has impacted them. Also with the prosecutor. So coming into our office and letting them know these are the kinds of concerns I have, or I'm okay with this plea agreement, or I'm not okay with that. They have the right to be protected. So we walk them through a protective order process. We also give them a safe place to wait while they're before the court hearing. So they're not sitting in the hallway with the offender and all of their family.
Yeah.
They have the right just to know what's going on. So we call them and update them at every single process, like every single step of the way of the process. So they know what to expect and what's going to happen.
That must be such a comfort to people who are already having a hard time,
Yeah.
Sure. I was reading through the flyer online about victim and witness rights. I was seeing that there was a compensation aspect of it. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so there was a Virginia Victims Fund. That's the people in Richmond. They have a whole organization. They help everybody throughout the state that are victims of crime. So if someone's a victim of a felony, we can help them pay for their medical bills, counseling. We do all the paperwork and send it to Virginia Victims Fund, and then they're the ones that can provide compensation. They help with funeral costs for families that are left with those bills after a homicide. But there's also restitution that we in our office can ask the defendant to pay for property damage or things like that.
What about if you have to take off work to come speak at a trial?
So if it's a felony case, we can ask the Virginia Victims Fund to do lost wages. That's really sort of the only recourse we have. We can't really ask that in restitution.
Okay. But still, if you're having to take off work, there is that safe net for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if someone wasn't the primary victim, like they were maybe the parent of a victim who's a minor, can they still come to you for help?
Absolutely, we do that all the time. We can't just talk to minors on our own, so we always reach out to the parents and have them a part of the conversation. If it's a situation like a homicide where somebody, is the family of the deceased person, we help them too. So really anybody that's impacted by this crime, we can try to assist.
So you don't have to be the person who was, specifically wrong to be a victim.
Yes.
Working with domestic violence victims in particular, are there any heightened risks associated with people taking time off for the holidays?
Yes, any time that an abuser and the person they abuse, the victim, are home together in a situation, like COVID was the worst for that really, but the holidays, it's heightened, there's family over, there's more reasons for people to be agitated and upset and also lose control over the victim. And so it can be a really heightened time for a lot of domestic violence. There's also drinking, everyone's together and celebrating. And so that's when things tend to get heightened and worse.
So what can people do if they're looking to the holidays and they're thinking, this might be a time of risk for me?
Really just think about safety planning, like letting somebody you trust in your life know, like I'm in an abusive situation, so they can send a code word text if they feel like, they're in danger. And also checking their social medias and Google and things like that, making sure that they are safe and they're not being monitored by the person that they're with. Just so that if they do need to make a quick getaway, they have that ability and they can, search for somewhere safe and that person's not going to track them or follow them.
Definitely. When should people reach out to your office for help, and how can they do that?
If they feel like they, need a protective order, they can just come straight to our office. We're at the courthouse on the second floor in the Commonwealth Attorney's office, or they can call our phone number, and we can help them that way. If we also reach out, so if you are a victim of a crime and a police report's been filed, or they went to the magistrate and took out charges, once those come to our office, we'll start reaching out to victims too. But if you do need assistance and you don't want to, haven't reported yet, you can always just come to our office and we're there.
And what's that phone number?
804-693-4995.
Okay. If that's not right, we'll cut it out.
No, I'm pretty sure it's right.
Okay. So when the Victim Witness Advocate's Office is able to help these people, what does that do for Gloucester community as a whole?
I feel like we're a good resource, and it lets people know that somebody's in their corner. And especially like in DV relationships, you feel like you're isolated, and this defendant has all of their family and the support of the community, because usually people find them very charming and they support them. And so we're just in their corner. We're their person to support them through this process and help them any way that we can. So you have a tool and a resource there for you.
I think that makes everyone feel a bit safer, right? A bit more loved.
Yeah, I would hope so. That's the goal. We really just want to be there to support them.
That's wonderful. What does it feel like for you when you've successfully navigated someone through the process and they get these protections that they are entitled to?
It's so rewarding. That's what we want to see, is we want to have that happen. That's the sole purpose of us being there. So when that happens, it's a good day and we're happy, for sure.
Are there ways people can get involved with your office?
Yes, we're always looking for interns. It's part of our grant. We have to have intern hours. So anybody that wants to volunteer, we would love to have everyone come in.
What are the qualifications you look for that?
Obviously, we don't want you to be an offender. So if you have, if you are an offender that's come through our office, that's probably not going to work out. We don't want you to have access to your own file or anything. But if you're a teenager, we just need you to have your parents say it's okay for you to be exposed to that kind of stuff. But really just anybody in the community that's looking for hours for any reason, we're willing to have them in or wants to volunteer.
What do your interns do when they're volunteering?
So they shadow us advocates. They also do filing and stuff, so they help. They look at what the files are. You can read court documents, so you learn how that works. You'll just shadow us, so you'll go to court with us. You'll sit on victim meetings with us. You'll help us track restitution. Anything that we need, we tag you in so you can kind of see how stuff works.
That's really cool. It's a great way for people to learn about the legal system if they're thinking about maybe going on to law school or becoming a defender in any way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really rewarding job. I think we celebrate our successes in our office. So anytime something good happens, we all cheer each other on. We're just excited. Anytime a victim testifies well, we're excited for them for that too. We celebrate the little things. Anytime we can help somebody, we just want to be there for them.
Last time I was in your office, I saw that you had goodie bags kind of on the floor. Yes. What's that about?
So some of the churches in the area have gotten together and they've created these goodie bags for witnesses and for victims while they're testifying, because sometimes they're there all day and the food and drink machines in the courthouse are not the greatest and sometimes they're not stocked. So it's just nice that we can give that to them and say, okay, here, you have all this stuff while you wait, and it's been a long day.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, it was really great of them.
I know that you guys also have a podcast, right? So can you tell me about your podcast?
Yes, it's called Victim Meet Advocate. And so we just talk about the different aspects of the criminal justice system. We do a case study. We walk people through, we talk about what potentially could happen during felonies or misdemeanors and what advocates are doing the entire time. We try to give people as much information as we can. We also talk to different service providers, so you'll know that that's what exists in Gloucester County.
Where can people listen to that?
Spotify, Apple, really wherever you get your podcasts.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming on and explaining a little bit more about your job. And we're just so grateful that you do it. And thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Gloucester is a better and more loving place because of the work that Chelsea and her team do every day. If you have any questions about the projects we talked about today, you can reach out to me at the Community Engagement and Public Information Office. You can also keep up with the county online through our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube pages. We wish you the warmest and safest of holidays and a Happy New Year.